So this is the premise that I want you guys to think about for today and keep this in your back pocket. Doubt is part of a process. And if you've talked with me about process before, I always say everything has a process. It doesn't matter if it's a breakup or how you make friends or how you read a book. Life has processes that you have built in because your mind, your subconscious mind likes to know what to expect and how you move through things. And so, if doubt were part of your process, which it typically will be when you go through decision making and goals, I want it to become less scary for you. And it's not that it's never going to happen. You will experience doubt. It's just how long do you experience it for and what gets you out quicker? Those are the tools that we're going to build. So keep this in mind doubt. It's part of a process. One rule that I have for you, it is okay to say, I don't know. Sit with that for a second. How embarrassing, shameful, scary, worried, and I'm aware that I have a grammar mistake. I'm going to own it. You know what? It's okay to say, I don't know. And to also, for me right now, spell it wrong. I don't know. I don't know is a very powerful statement because it can open up the opportunity to say, I don't know yet. But I'm willing to use a very powerful tool that I have, which is my creative mind and my logical mind. You have both to figure my way out of it. And so, how do we do that, right? We have to step back and we're going to get into that process. But I want you to give yourself permission in whatever way that looks like humility, being humble, like permission, confidence, strength, bravery, even if there's insecurity around it. I don't know. Even if there are children staring at you going, "You have to figure it out, mom." Even if there's a colleague, a coworker, a husband, a partner, a best friend, anybody else, a dog, a cat on the other side of this going, "But you need to know." You're gonna go, "I don't know yet." Because the truth is, look at that, I have another spelling mistake. Doubt shows your mind is holding two or more possibilities at the same time, and it hasn't decided which one is safe or true, right? Because doubt is asking you to make a choice, and it's going, but I'm not sure yet if it's the right choice. It's basically saying in the background, do I have enough data and information to feel confident in my choice right now? And the answer might be, I don't know. And if you're feeling doubt, then yes, let's look at that data and go, what is the doubt telling me? What is it saying it needs from me? Doubt, again, it is part of your spectrum of different personalities that all come out. And I don't mean personality disorders, but parts of you, right? Doubt, your doubt self comes up to go, hey, knock, knock, knock. Have you thought about this? Like, are you sure this is the right decision? Because there's also this other way we could go. I want you to inspect it. The doubt is asking you, look at this, the last part of this, right? Doubt shows your mind is holding two or more possibilities at the same time. And this is the key it hasn't decided which is safe, true, or reliable. Safe being very important because your mind, your subconscious doesn't care if you're happy. It cares if you're safe. We are animals. We are programmed that way. We need to move forward with safety. Think about a dog that you adopt, right? They are scared in your home, and until they feel safe, then they start to come out. You get to see their personality. Same in friendships, right? Until your friends feel safe with you, they're not going to start divulging information yet. Is it true? That's a big statement, right? Because truth is very subjective, but is it true for you? Is it true that those are the outcomes? Is it true that this will happen? Is it reliable? Can I rely on this outcome? All of these things are going to help you make a decision. When we look at doubt, goals, actions, plans, having those different plans, there's two ways that we can orient our mind. And that's on outcome orientation of how, meaning, what does the outcome have to look like, need to look like, or supposed to look like, right? And then there's the action orientation. And these are two different orientations, and they're both very helpful, but there's always a benefit and a detriment to each of them. If you are only looking at your in the moment action by action, you can lose sight of the bigger plan, right? It's like if you're only focused on what you're doing right now and you don't have a bigger outcome plan of something that you desire, you can get lost in the actions, and every action or thing that comes into your life is not always meant for you. Not everything that's sparkly is gold is a statement that keeps coming into my mind. um, you're going to get offers and these things, and it's like, oh, that sounds exciting, but you always have to check back in. Is this, in the moment, does this align with what I really want? Or if everything's aligning in this way that feels really good, is my outcome still the outcome I want? And so we always need to be careful of like checking in outcome to action. Now, the other way that you can get really swept away is if you're so focused on the outcome of how something has to look or be, you can get really tripped up because you're not focused on the path to get there. So, what you can see a lot of when you're dealing with outcome orientation is you might even get a lot of procrastination, perfectionism, avoidance, also because if it's not perfect, then I can't even get into doing it. So we don't want to worry too much. So think about it this way. I always say if you're about to get in the car and drive from the East Coast to the West Coast, and you're like, it has to be on this one road, this is the path, these are the directions. If you get there and one of the roads is closed and you're like, but it has to be this, you might miss out on a beautiful scenic tour that you could go on. And that's what we want to avoid, is just being so fixated on what has to be that we miss all the opportunities that are presented to us to make it better. Because I always say life throws you some crazy shit. And if we sometimes aren't paying attention to the fact that, like, some of the crazy, hardest stuff is the growing pains that lead us to the best things. Um, and so, yes, the hard stuff is hard, but it's meant to be hard. And it's hard because you're growing and you're learning and you're getting better. Jill, I'm glad that the definition of doubt is great. Weigh your choices, feel them out. Fear comes up. Again, doubt comes with fear. It's always life comes with fear. It's our protective mechanism. Thank goodness we have it. Sometimes it's just overreactive because of the past traumas that we've had in the past, experiences that we've had in the past. Our desire to stay safe is real. And so think just as your doubt has a part in your life, so does your fear. Your fear is not trying to hurt you, it is loving you with all its heart, and it's just scared. And so we always want to hear the fear and the doubt, take that into consideration, and use our logical mind to then go, what about this isn't working? And what is it I really want? And that's where our logical mind is really great. That's what we use 95% of the day, even though it only makes up 5% of the mind. So definitely hone in on, like, you're allowed to want what you want. I want you guys to think about for a moment, if you couldn't call doubt doubt, right? Like, I have now wiped that or Jedi mind tricked you to forget that doubt had a term, like the word doubt existed. What would you call it? Worry, paralysis. That's a good one. Definitely, right? It's like, I don't know. It's a case of the I don't knows, or um, this deep. I mean, if I described it in my body, it's this like withdrawing feeling and sensation of like pulling back, slowing down. Ooh, so it's like almost like molasses. Yeah. So if you couldn't, that's like the first place to start, because now you're getting to know your doubt a little bit, right? And what is doubt trying to ask you? It's asking you to inspect. So what I'm going to ask you guys, what we're going to hone in on for the hypnosis portion, is this idea of utilizing not only your conscious mind, which is such a gift, and it's been developing logic and reason and willpower and deductive reasoning from the moment you're born, to also using your subconscious mind. Because once we have an idea of what's not working, we want to come up with some creative ideas, and creativity comes from the subconscious of what we can do differently, right? Because the more options you have, the less that you're a victim to your doubt, right? And we don't want to be a victim to our doubt. We want to feel empowered by it. But the empowerment portion comes when we can create options in front of us. And those options don't always come from the conscious mind. They come when we slow down, step back, and give ourselves permission to just be. And those things, and it sounds crazy because it's like we have to figure it out. But it's like, no, the subconscious mind does not work that way. You cannot create from a logical place. You have to get it from the subconscious. The subconscious is the creator. And so when we create, we connect to our highest self, we connect to our intuition, we connect to the universe, we connect to like all of this universal energy, we connect to friends, we have less fear, people are willing to help, we have all of this community and network of energies so that we can tap into. And that's what we want to do today. So that's what we're going to be doing in the hypnosis. So what I'm going to ask everyone to do is, while I get a sip of water, please get comfortable, whether that's sitting down or laying down. Hypnosis is the state between awake and sleep, and it is a place that you know very well. It is a place that allows your conscious mind to soften, meaning it's going to open up the subconscious mind by allowing the conscious mind to divert its attention inward. Now, it's not a scary place if you ever want to stop. It's very similar to meditation. But instead of turning your thoughts off, don't worry about your mind being clear. That's not the point of the work today. The point of the work is to give your mind things to visualize, imagine, think about, picture, pretend. Some people can picture things super clearly, some people cannot. I am not a visual learner, but if you tell me to imagine a purple crayon, I could imagine it there in front of me. But I might see a quick flash of it, but don't worry about holding that image. Just let the flash or just think about it. That's okay too. It's going to fire the same neurons as if it were actually happening in person. Cool, cool stuff. So, what we're going to do is we're going to relax the body. And as we relax the body, the mind will relax. And then after the body is relaxed and the mind's relaxed, we're going to provide some visuals of how life can be and how you can move through doubt, feeling very empowered and strong, creative mind, subconscious mind, all coming together to create this beautiful energy for you. Um, any questions before we jump in? Just going to quickly go to the live chat. You guys are all being amazing. If not, then go ahead and let your eyes close. As you let your eyes close, I'd like you to take a nice, deep, cleansing breath in through the nose, as if you were breathing right into the center of your forehead. Hold it there, and then let it out. I want you to do that 2 more times while I talk to you. We're using the breath to really begin to activate the vagus nerve, relaxing the nervous system. And when we feel the air move through the nose, you might feel that it's cool air, maybe it's warm air, but just be aware of how the air moves in and out. Does it make a sound as it goes through your nose? Does it make a sound when you breathe out through your mouth? And can you give it a sound as you breathe out through your mouth? Like, now the next thing I want you to think about is just allowing your breathing to be taken back over by your subconscious mind. Your subconscious knows how to breathe for you. So as you allow the breath to just do what it naturally does, I'd like you to think about how the exhale, which will be very light and very calm, is going to feel, and you can make it feel like you're sinking down. Like each exhale that leaves your body, it's blowing away tension, it's blowing away stress. And you could imagine that each breath that leaves your body is going to leave your body more loose and limp and calm and heavy. Now, I'd like you to make your body heavy. And what I mean by that is thinking about that the muscles right now in the neck, what if you could turn them off? What if you could imagine that they could melt? We've all seen ice melt, butter melt. But what if your shoulder muscles could melt? It's like the weight of the world. It's where we carry it, responsibility, so much of it. What if that responsibility, that stress, just let your shoulders melt, drop them down now. When you drop your shoulders, so you let them sink deeper and deeper, I'd like you to drop your arms too. Let the muscles drop and let your arms move into the floor or your lap or wherever they are. And I'd like you to, for a moment, pretend with me what it would be like if your arms were too heavy to lift. And you know you can lift them, but just pretend for a moment that they're stuck. They're so heavy, or they're stuck to the ground or glued to wherever you are that you couldn't lift them if you tried. And wouldn't it be nice to know that you have a powerful mind? And with that powerful mind, we can do powerful things. So we let the arms relax. We let the fingers begin to tingle. You'll feel in a moment your fingers beginning to tingle because what's happening is we're opening up new neurological pathways. We're allowing all the body to settle. We're letting energy begin to flow. And when you think about the tips of your fingers, do you feel that? If you do, amazing. If you don't yet, you will soon. Just let your hands feel nice and calm because we know that in this moment, there's nowhere you need to go. There's nowhere you need to be. And there's nobody wanting or needing anything from you. It's a gift for you right now to let your whole body settle into the chair or the ground or your bed, wherever you are. Feel the stillness. I'd like you to move stillness and calmness through your legs. Move it down from the thighs to your toes. As you move it through your toes, just knowing that here is where you're meant to be. And if it's where you're meant to be, can you imagine blowing yourself deeper and deeper every small breath that leaves the body? You're sinking down and down. And as you sink down, I wonder what it would be like if you could imagine laying under a beautiful blue sky, watching clouds drift by, where it's one of those days when the sky is so blue and the clouds are so white. And when the clouds are so white, it makes the sky seem vibrant and crisp and clear, just like your mind will be in a moment. And I'd like you to focus on the clouds as they drift by, just moving slowly with the wind, just moving off into the distance. And as they float, you feel this lightness in your body that even though we've asked it to be so heavy and sink downward, there's also a lightness. Now, in the sky, you're going to see this one small, puffy white cloud. And I wonder what it would be like if it began to float down out of the sky and started floating toward you. And as you focus on the cloud floating toward you, you're not sure if you're drawing the cloud to you or the cloud's drawing itself to you, or what this energy is that is happening here. But this cloud begins to get closer and closer and closer still. And as it gets closer, it stays the same size, not too big, not too small, just right. And as it gets closer to you, it comes down to the ground. It floats very gently and softly toward your head, where its soft, white, fluffy energy slowly moves up to the top of your head as if you could wear it like a hat. And it makes your mind feel light and fluffy, as if it could suck and draw out any worries or stress. And then that cloud begins to lift and rise and float away, taking with it any worries that no longer serve a purpose. And then you'll see again another cloud in the sky, this one a little bigger, beginning to float down towards you. And this time you could imagine that you could pull it very easily toward you. That as you move it toward you, drawing it inward more and more, it comes closer and closer until it is right in front of you. And it is inviting you to climb aboard its softness. Now, as you climb into this soft, puffy, fluffy white cloud, you wrap yourself in its warmth, cocooning yourself in its calm, feeling safe and secure. And it begins to lift and rise and lift up into that beautiful blue sky. Higher and higher you begin to float, and there's a lightness in the mind, a freedom. It is bringing you to new heights, which are safe and secure, an experience for you to have. What it feels like to lift and rise above all the doubt and worry, to leave it below. And as you leave it below, something very interesting happens. Your mind begins to open right from the top of the head. And as your mind opens and you're sitting on your cloud, there's an emotion that you'd like to feel that can allow you to find all the answers to the questions that you have. And I wonder what that emotion or that feeling is. And if you ask this cloud for it right now, it can produce that for you. So maybe you've asked your cloud for peace. The cloud might change color or shape. Maybe it feels different. Maybe it just allows your mind to open more. But whatever it does, we recognize that this is the emotion your mind needs right now. And as your mind enjoys that feeling, it opens up to receiving as if you could imagine two beautiful hands lifting up from the top of the head as if they were open to receiving information, gifts from your highest self that can help you fearlessly navigate life. As if the hands were saying, "Tell me what I should do. Provide me the answers of how to move forward." And we sit quietly and we listen as if they are on the side of the head or a volume button. We could turn the volume up to the right amount to just hear. And there in the center of the forehead, again, we visualize and imagine that deep blue light of the mind's third eye, the chakra. And we allow it to open or close appropriately to the spin, to the energy, to the field it should be, that we need it to be or want it to be to receive. Intuition is a beautiful thing, a gift. I'd like you to imagine that you could wear it like a crown, a banded crown around your forehead, like the king or queen or royalty that you are. That as you allow yourself to connect to your highest self, your guides, archangels, just the universal energy of love. They will always steer you right because they know you and you can trust them. Now, it's interesting when we're up in this cloud and we look down at the world where we've left doubt and worry. This perspective makes it so much smaller, so small that it's like the fear, the energy of fear, that dark cloud, it's just not there. So, from up here, where we open the creative mind, whether you're creative as a painter, a poet, a singer, a dancer, a deep thinker, however you experience your creative cat inside your mind, allow them to shine, allow them to come out. Allow them to give you a helping hand to enjoy the freedom and space here, because the knowledge they provide is power. And I wonder what it would feel like if you could fill up with this knowledge, this power. Imagine the cloud had a vibration to it, a gentle hum, a static, an energy so gentle, but it filled you completely like the warmth of the sun. Let it move through you. Let that energy move through the toes. Soak it in, fill up with it, absorb it. When your body absorbs it, just notice how that feels. What do you notice? What becomes true? Let it move right there through the throat and the chest and the stomach. Imagine standing tall, embodying your strength, your power, your intuition, your creativity. That it's with all of this knowledge, this energy, that we can begin to take the cloud ride back down to here, back down to now, sinking deeper and deeper, moving down and down and down, deeper and deeper still, until the cloud gently lands right where you are, softly placing you back in the bed or the chair or the ground that you are. In a moment, we're going to open your eyes. And I'd like you to recognize what it is you're bringing up with you, what emotion, what thought that's going to help move you each day forward. And as you acknowledge it, feel it in your body. That in the face of doubt, you can feel this way. You can slow down, inspect the data, and get creative. Remember, in the top of your head, those hands are open to receiving your intuition and knowledge. Now, when I count from 0 to 5, we'll let the eyes open when I get to 5. 1, 2, 3. Deep breath right into the center of the forehead. 4. And allowing the eyes to open and wide awake. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stretch your arms out. Put your hands up, right? Receive. Feel tall. Stretch up. Down. All right. It's from that place when we open the mind, when we step back, when we sit back, that we can start to channel, right? We can begin to listen, not figure out, begin to listen to our truths, what we want, what's good for us, those, highest self messages, our intuitive messages. And from there, that's when we can take that knowledge down to begin to implement it with the conscious mind, when we can handle doubt, when we feel whatever that energy is we need to feel it, you know. So I hope everybody enjoyed the session today. I know I appreciate it so much. And from here out, like there's what we call, some people are just going to feel really good. Other people might notice just this like gentle shift as they go through the days and the weeks. Some people, if you don't experience doubt on a day to day basis, you might not feel the effects of some of the work we do until doubt hits or normally would hit. And you're like, wait, all of a sudden I just feel that energy again coming up where I don't feel as much doubt as maybe I would have, or as much fear or as much paralysis or anything like that. It's just I feel a little lighter, like I can handle this, like I got this, or, it happens for everybody in a different way. But enjoy it. And again, think about like now that you have this gift, when you have an open mind, when you have your creator, right? The creator, you are the creator of your world. Now that you have that amazing energy, what do you want to do with it? That's up to you. And that's what I would spend like the next couple minutes before the hour is up. Journal about it, write about it, manifest it, take it out of your head, put it on paper, right? Like I just finished my book. Yay. I just finished literally writing it and I've sent it to the printer to get a proof copy of it. I want it to be the most helpful modern hypnosis book to date that can help people take their practice to the next level. That's what I'm manifesting. That's what I'm manifesting. What is it you guys want to manifest? If you didn't have any doubt, what is it that you're going to do? I am so appreciative to everybody, and I will see you all next week